This is the MMA Takes Podcast. With your host, Brian Petrie.
Let's fucking go. It's been a week. It's been a fucking week since I spoke to you. The UFC was off last week. I was off last week. No Wednesday Takes. What's up? I almost forget how to do this. That's the way my mind works. I'm obsessed with it 24/7. And then when I got to take a week off, and I got to take a week to think about personal stuff, I forget how to do everything. But what's up with the what's up? Welcome to the MMA Takes Podcast. We got the Pick'em Podcast. We're coming at you. Got these things ready. UFC Paris. UFC Paris France. Nailed that accent. Thank you for being with me here, though. A little new setup. Again, idle hands makes devil's plate, whatever the fuck that thing says. I rearranged my office. I try to figure it out. I had to get a new setup. Put my back to the wall as opposed to whatever. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But if you're looking at this, you're like, where's this guy at? Yeah, I got a new setup. Same office, same everything. Let's go. 3 things off the top before we get to the pick'ems. Number one, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single one of you that reached out about my grandfather. I posted on Twitter and on Facebook. Meant a lot to me. That's awesome that, these guys, essentially people, a lot of you are just strangers that watch my stupid show and you sent condolences and stuff. And I really appreciate that. My grandfather was a terrific, amazing human being. And I'm sad to see him go, but I'm lucky to have him as long as I did. And I'm going to talk more about him on Wednesday Takes. I've been pretty good. I'm not super emotional because my grandfather hated when men had emotion, which I'll tell that on Wednesday Takes as well. So tune in to Wednesday Takes. I just want to thank everyone in the MMA Takes community, you beautiful people who support me with everything I do, or even don't support me, but the condolences were fantastic. Thank you very much. That doesn't go unnoticed. Every single one of you, I love you. I love you. So thank you. Number 2, speaking about loving you, I just gave you a nice message. Can we get a little bit of sense of humor in this world? So I sent out a tweet. It's been since Uzman got head kicked. I've seen you. Have been on here. Uzman's my guy. Okay. I sent out a tweet about, a jokingly louder than sarcasm tweet. So here's the thing. With me, I put my fandom above my capper, right? I don't do this for a living. So my fandom becomes above my capping for sure. I had no money on the Uzman fight. I had already lost. Romanov, that fucking big idiot, blew up my parlay. Uzman was my final leg. So it's not green color, me upset that Leon won. I like Uzman. He's one of my guys that I generally root for and root for success. I've been with him since the fucking Ultimate Fighter. Thought he was special then, think he's special now. It is what it is. So after he got knocked out the way he did, I sat on the couch for a good 20 minutes figuring out what the fuck's happening. The only tweet I sent out that I kind of regret was the Leon Edwards. He kept saying, "Look at me now." In hindsight, watching that post-fight speech back, it's electric. Headshot, bang, dead, or whatever he says. It's electric. It's electric for sure. So I should have maybe let that breathe a little bit. But again, people were like, "Come on, let him have his moment." I'm not tweeting at Leon. Leon ain't seeing my shit, right? it was sour grapes, right? So then I go to bed. I try to go to bed. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, you know what? This sucks. But again, so I have my capper, I have my fandom, and above all else is just MMA soaring to greatness. MMA being the greatest sport in the world. And that was such a moment that it's going to be shared forever. The memes are great, everything like that. So as much as I love Uzman, right? He was winning the fight up until that point. First round was, I think he dropped, but then, you know what I mean? But then I'm like, man, this is a good moment for just MMA in general. Like for the MMA people out there, this is incredible. This is going to obviously help the sport, yada, yada, yada. So then I sent out a tweet, and this is where Twitter, I love you. I love you. But a lot of you guys that follow me, or not now you don't, you got to lighten up. I sent out a tweet. I should have, God, see, I'm rusty. I should have pulled it up. Now I got to go grab my fucking phone. Yeah. All right, here we go. Shouldn't be hard that fight. I haven't been on Twitter much. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Okay. Going to bed. Devastated. Uzman is my guy, and I don't want to be dramatic, but the Utah Athletic Commission should rewatch that fight because Leon grabbed Uzman's gloves in the cage like 100 times. He should be put in jail and stripped. Again, not being dramatic. So I got so many comments thinking I was serious. I doubled down on the dramatic to think people I wasn't serious. Uzman and Leon both were grabbing the cage with some gloves. But do you really think I think he should be stripped because of a little incident like that? Do you think he needs to be in jail? I was getting fire at me. People were coming at me. And then I'm like, oh, these are just random guys that happen to see it. They're following the pay-per-view thread or whatever. No, these are people that follow me that I've never interacted with, who came over probably from the Anakin Florian. And I'm like, guys, relax. And they're like, not having it. No. You said what you said, man. So then I'm like, okay, so I try to go to bed, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to, I'm not sour anymore. I feel bad for my guy, but let me just kind of let the people know, the dim-witted people, that I was being sarcastic. So I literally doubled down. I said, I really thought my tweet was lathered in sarcasm and clearly meant to be a joke. Have a little sense of humor, people. I don't want Leon in jail. So ridiculous. I want him in prison. So then I doubled down on the joke. People were still coming at me about that. Guys, I don't want Leon in jail. I think he won fair and square, okay? I was kidding around, okay? It's a joke. Get your brain out of your asshole. I'm kidding. I lost 14 followers from that. I was at like 720 something or 1720 something. And I literally lost 14 people that follow me were like, this guy doesn't get it. This guy won't let Leon have his moment. What is happening? Golly. You know what I mean? Golly is all I got to say. And the third thing before we get to the picks, real quick, before I give out these gorgeous picks, I'm ice cold. Your boy's the iceberg from the Titanic. I'm ice cold. I can't win a fight. Last week, my betting strategy was I'm going to do the slime ball parlay. That's it. Everything else straight bets. Little bitty straight bets because the bankroll is getting thin. 4 weeks, 5 weeks now of losses. Bankroll getting thin. Very confident in the slime ball. Romanoff blew that. Looked like a chump. I fell in love with his felt thing, his physique. I fell in love with him going to Thailand. Dud, complete dud, right? I even gave Tybora on the Anakin Florian text Cody Mero and the flow and said, I'm switching my pick. And Kenny's like, man, you son of a bitch. Romanoff looks great, doesn't he? I was like, yeah. And we both, and he lays a dud like that, Shouts out to Tybora. Ice cold though. And all my little bitty bets that I took, I'm like, I just need to get a W. I don't care if it's winning 2 cents. I need to get a dub. I didn't win a bet. I didn't win a fucking bet. I'll go over more on that on Wednesday Takes. We'll open the show at that. But it's struggle city over here. So I love that you guys watch me. I'll never sell my picks. That just remind me of something. Wednesday Takes is going to be a good show. I got another thing to bring up on Wednesday Takes. I'm not going to bring it up here because I might get too much time. I got to go get a suit for the Grandpa's funeral, which is next Friday, the September 9th. He was a World War II veteran, so they wanted to do it Memorial Day weekend. It's in Cincinnati. It is going to be a sad day, but my grandfather was a classy fucking dude. So I'm not a suit guy, but I gotta fucking rock a suit for him. I got to do that here soon. So we're trying to keep it quick. So ice cold Wednesday Takes. Listen at your own discretion. My picks, again, have been dog shit. So maybe fade me. Because if you fade me, then you win. I want you guys to win. I want you guys to watch me. Give me the clicks. Give me the 1K. Still marching for 1K subscribers. I want that, right? I want you guys to be entertained by this. But you're not going to hear me sit here and say I'm the best. Because right now I'm far from the best. I might be the fucking worst. Bottom of the barrel. But stick with me. We'll claw our way back out. I'm fucking balls deep in these pick'ems. I studied like crazy. I second guessed myself. I feel good about a lot of my picks. I feel good about the slime ball. Feel good about my locks, but fucking only time will tell, babe. So first fight of the night. Choo-choo! Graphics, baby. And I fixed the names on top. You guys were like, hey, I can't see the names. Got them fixed. First up, newcomers here, baby. William Gomez, minus 200 versus Jerome. Eamonn, Arun, Erroneous, Ernest, Jerome, Ernest. Newcomers, interesting fight. I thought Gomez maybe was a little overpriced for my liking, but he is a solid prospect. He is a guy that people seem to are trending towards. I see why he's a 2-1 favorite. Ernest here is Ernest Earns. How do you say his fucking name? I did not study their names. Earns. Okay, and they just switched. I literally made this yesterday, right? I'm on Tapology. They just switched the bout order on me. So now this fight, because you got a Frenchman in Gomez, he is now the second fight of the main card. So don't fucking, I'm doing this on a Monday. Don't put a gun to my head and say, why were the fight cards messed up? Add timestamps and all that shit. I'm sorry. But listen, they're both pretty well-rounded. Ernest wants to take the fight to the ground. That's where he's best. He does like to stand up a little bit. He's got a good left hand. It's just his stand-up's not that polished. Gomez is slick with his kicks. Tricky southpaw, switch stances. His takedown defense looks pretty good. He's got some submissions on his record. Seems pretty well-rounded, in my opinion. He's fought the better competition as well. I think Ernest has fought some decent guys. Taking a fight on short notice, you're getting a home crowd favorite in the Frenchman. Sometimes that might not play into your favor. Sometimes it will. I think your UFC debut, I think, is going to play into your favor. This fight came together kind of last minute. So give me, I forgot to do this. Oops. Give me, hold on. Yeah. Nope. All right. We're just going to go without the W's here. Sorry. Again, I'm rusty. Give me Gomez. Because I just think he's more skills to pay the bills, baby. More skills to pay the bills. And I think he's just going to be better everywhere. I think Ernest can do some good things if he gets on top. His submission skills are a real deal. But I just think he's a little bit slower. Just kind of, he's behind the ball. I think Gomez is the better prospect here. I think he wins. 2-1, though, is tough. UFC debutantes. Always get me into trouble. So this could be a pass for me, boys. I got to be very selective on my bets throughout this card. I may look into a prop because I think Gomez has the ability to finish Aaron's, even though he's never been finished before. This might most likely go to decision, but if you get a finish number that's really gorgeous, you might get it because Gomez is explosive, good kicks, good power. And I think he's going to be able to be better on the ground or at least prevent it from getting there. So give me Gomez and we'll rock with that. Fight number 2. Perez, plus 275, another newcomer versus Stephanie Edgar, minus 330. Very beefy. We got a chunky line for women's MMA. Stephanie Edgar just got her arm broke. Not really. She just got the, if you're like, hey, Stephanie Edgar, she fought soon. Yeah, she fought Miranda Silva. The Phantom tap. Did she tap? She didn't tap. But obviously this girl is bitter and was like, get me the fuck back in there. She's European. She's like, I want her on the France card. This makes all the sense in the world to get her in there. She's following Perez, 7-1. This girl is a cutie, right? She, a lot of her pictures you find of her on either Instagram or Google or whatever. I had to pick this one because a lot of them were bikini shots. Thought that might have been a little unprofessional. She looks great. But a little unprofessional, you know what I mean? She's a fighter. Her Tapology photos, a bikini shot, and, a lot of twerking stuff or whatever. She's a fun girl. 7-1 pro MMA record, making her UFC debut. Looked up tape on the girl, 27 years old, 5'5", and she is just, she's okay. She's aggressive. She's tough. One loss in the UFC career, one loss in her MMA career was by illegal knees. But she's fought 0-2, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0, 5-5. The girl, the legal knees were 4-1, 0-1, and then 8-4 was her last time out in Samurai Fight. She's from Argentina. I know they're building something in these countries with MMA. So I think she's going to be more equipped than I think maybe I'm giving her credit for, but I just think she's going to run into a girl like Stephanie Edgar, who I do think is good and bitter and is angry and wants this one back. Minus 330 is crazy. Maybe you can play something by finish here. Stephanie Edgar can get a finish here. TKO submission, something like that. Perez obviously has that one lone loss, but she's fought nobody. So, Edgar's the play here. I wish I could go on like a big dog shot here and, rally the troops and now my computer's just going, what? It literally doesn't want to get away from the bikini picture. Like, why are you trying to go back? We got a chick in a bikini here, man. Come on, computer, you son of a... All right, well, son of a gun. We'll move on. I just study. I don't need notes. Kalita minus 140 versus Christian Keown plus 120. Very interesting fight here, my boys. Because Christian Keown is an interesting cat. Come from the Contender Series, won his fight. Looked okay. He's still a work in progress. Maybe I shouldn't say obviously, but he's from Mexico. And the Mexico camps are really upcoming. They got a lot of good fighters. This guy is a dog in there. He really is. He's got a good record at 16-3. Khalid Taha, just a brute in there, right? He's short, he's strong, he's powerful. Used to be a finisher. Now he's on a 2-fight skid where it looks like he second-guessed himself. He had power. He has some ground game. Got busted with steroids. Looks like the guy was drinking a lot more than podcast juice because he got popped for that and hasn't won since. This is an interesting fight here. Close line. I was wondering why it was close, and I dove more deep into it. Taha likes to grapple nowadays. He likes to stand up. His reach is very, very tiny. Very short man for this division. And Christian Keown he'll stand with you. He'll fucking take it to the ground. He likes to initiate takedowns. He's okay up his back, but he's just got that dog in him, man. He's scrappy in there. And I think this is going to be a very competitive, close fight. And whenever I think it's a competitive, close fight, and it's 50-50, right? I got to go dog shot.
Hello? Okay, this is dog.
Okay, that's a dog here. I'm going Keown here. He's a little bit bigger of a guy. I think he's going to be crafty off his back, get off his back. It's all about cardio. Kataha's been in the UFC for a long time. He's been there. Steroid allegations or not allegations. He popped for steroids. All that aside, it's going to come down to cardio because this is going to be a grueling fight where both guys are going to be jockeying for position. Who gets top, who doesn't. You also got to play in the factor that they're in France. I don't know what kind of judges they have over there. Some shit could get a little wild here. So be very patient with your money. This is maybe a live betting spot where you see who's getting the upper hand here. It's a close number. After the first round, I still seen it be close, and then you can make your decision if you see a lean either way. I'm going with the dog here. Dog off the shot. Again, I'm probably not going to play this because it's two lower level guys. Taha's been around for a while, but I don't really necessarily know what he has anymore. We're 2-0 or 0-2 in his last two, and then Keown is coming off the Contender Series. Christian, my guy fades Contender Series off the jump. I don't necessarily do that, but this is an interesting fight, interesting line. Give me the dog here. Plus money tickets only is what we're about. Next up, Benoit Saint-Denis versus Gabriel. That's his name, Gabriel Miranda. Saint-Denis is minus 260. Miranda is plus 220. I thought Saint-Denis was going to be way higher, especially after I watched tape on Miranda. I think he's a solid guy, but he's your typical Brazilian. 15-5, good submission, scrappy dude, cool tattoos. This picture, he's got cool facial hair, but Benoit Saint-Denis is fucking tough. His used to debut, he almost got murdered. Comes back, gets a quick submission win, and is strong, powerful, likes the ground game himself, can stand up, can take a good shot, but wants to get on top, wants to smother you. He's incredibly strong for 155 pounds. And, he's French, baby. Believe it or not, Saint-Denis is French. So we're rocking with him in this minus 260. Almost a slime ball candidate. This is going to be my send him home, though. Yeah. Get him out of there. I got to get a soundbite for that. Get him out of there. Saint-Denis, I think, is just going to smother Miranda. I think Miranda has some tricks off his back. I do think he is a competent fighter, but I don't know if he's ready for this level. I don't know if he's ready for the pressure. I think, Miranda has been submitted before. He's almost like a kill or be killed kind of guy in there. A lot of his losses come by submission. I think Saint-Denis can either get that. He can get a TKO finish. I think if he gets on top with his pressure, with his strength, it's going to be a fucking problem. And the more I'm describing this and the more I'm breaking it down is the more I'm upset I didn't add him to the slime ball parlay. So maybe this could be a late addition add, the extra slime, the a la mode on top if you want, because apparently I wasn't fucking smart enough to add this guy. But the more I break it down, the more I think he cruises and dominates here. I know he's only 1-1 in the UFC, and I might be getting ahead of myself here, but he's in France, right? He's going to go out there. He's going to eat a baguette in the back. He's going to come out and choke the fuck out. Miranda, I like it. I like the play here. Benoit Saint-Denis minus 260. I'd play him at 360. I'd play him at 460. Don't tell Vegas. I like this guy in this fight a lot. Not more lock, though. But I like him. All right, next up, Nasruddin Imanov, minus 250 versus Joaquin Buckley. Buckley is a bricked up old boy who called out my boy Chris Curtis. I have studied these guys more than I study for the SATs because both these guys will one day fight Chris Curtis. Imanov was a fight Chris has won it a while ago, right when he first got in the UFC. I believe there's a couple tweets of him calling him out. And Buckley called out Chris. They've trained together. Chris was put off by that. These guys are going to fight Chris. So I studied. And I love Imanov's skills. He's big. He's 6'3" for the division. Really crispy striking. He's a Dagestanian that lives in France, represents France, which I never thought I'd say, a Russian moving to France. But he does have that ground game in his bag. But he's a stand-up guy, karate-ish. Not necessarily Machida with the bounty. But, you know, he has a unique style. And then you got Buckley who throws them things. He throws them things, but he's really athletic. He's sneakily good cardio, even though he's ripped up for being a little bit smaller of a guy for the division. You know, he's kind of built like a little bit smaller than Rohan Paul-Harris, but the cardio, really good cardio checks out. You know, he looks mean in there against the Durev fight, stops the takedowns and just punished him. Imanov, the biggest complaint I have with him is he's had a little bit of cardio issues in his first two fights. His last two fights, he's finished. He's looked fantastic. But his fights before that, the Phil Hall's fight in particular, and then the very first UFC fight, I can't remember. Go click on it. Jordan Williams. Woo! Pulled it out, baby. He slowed down as well. Now, has he fixed that? I'm sure. He's getting more used to the UFC, but his last two fights have been finishes. They've both been in the second round. He's looked okay, but Buckley's going to push a pace. My problem with Buckley, 3 out of his 4 losses are by KO. The boy's got a chin issue. There's a chin problem that side of the tape here, and you know Imanov can crack. He's undeceiving, 6'3", a little bit longer, but he's got power. Buckley fights tall guys well. I've seen him, you know, in his not an amateur career, pre-UFC career. He's, you know, he spars with tall guys all the time. You know, the guy's confident, he's in shape. He's coming off a 3-fight winning streak, or a current 3-fight winning streak. So when you look for dogs and you look for options, you gotta go with a guy who has those intangibles, those powers. So give me the dog, baby. Dog! That's what that says. It's a little muddy. I got to clean up the audio, but dog! Hey, who it is?
Okay, this is dog.
Okay, this is dog. That's my dog lock of the night is Joaquin Buckley. I didn't love too many dogs on this card. I'm going to be quite frankly honest with you. And when I was looking at the card, I go, you know what? I need a guy with an intangible. I need a guy with some power. I need some guy that can change the fucking game, change the landscape. I think Imanov is the better fighter. I think he might have even the better ceiling. But it's about matchups, about shots. And I'm willing to take this shot, especially with that plus 210 number. Would I be willing to take the shot on like a minus 105, plus 105, very even fight? You know, I don't know. But when you're giving me a 2-1, and you got a guy in France, not all France guys are going to win this fight. It's not fucking England, right? There's going to be a Frenchman that loses. And I'm predicting that it's going to be Imanov. And I like the dog shot here on Joaquin Buckley because of that fucking power, babe. See you, dog. Dog! So Joaquin Buckley is your dog lock. Fair Zim, another Frenchman. Look at this skinny guy, huh? Little skinny boy here. Fair Zim. Plus 165 versus this guy's name's fun. From Poland, representing England, Michal Figlac. That's actually not that bad. I think I fucking nailed it. Minus 195, making his UFC debut over there. Representing Poland, fighting out of England. Looked up tape. He's pretty good, right? He's pretty good. Comes from the Cage Warriors organization, which a ton of great fighters do. And he looks damn good. He looks damn good. Good striking, good grappling. Fight IQ very low. He's 6-0. Or was he 8-0? That's going to happen. There's a couple fights where he had guys hurt. He went for takedowns. That's obviously like his go-to. I want to get on top. I want to press you. I want to do this. I think he could have had more finishes. He's aggressive. Fairziam comes from a striking background. He is a kickboxer. He got completely mauled his last time out against Terrence McKinney, but before that, he had squeaked out some decisions. Ground game's been an issue for him. I see Figlac just pushing the pressure. Pressure's going to be Ziem's worst enemy here. He got cut from UFC, got signed to this card, so good for him. Fighting his home country here, but I just think this guy's going to be a little bit too much. Ziem has long, rangy striking. I just don't think he does enough with it, and I think he's going to be on his back foot, and Figlac's to be able to take him down or bust him up with some strikes. Ziem's been dropped in the UFC a few times. He's been hit. So with that reason, I'm going to go Figlac here at -195. I think the number's a little wide, though. Again, this fight, I might stay away from this fight just because that number's a little wide, and I think Ziem is a little underrated at times. If his striking really comes together, he's going to be a problem because he's big for the division. He's got snappy punches, snappy kicks, but he just doesn't do enough with it. He's coming over from kickboxing. And my issue with kickboxing is a lot of these guys come over and they're just like a little too patient. They're not willing to go. And that has been Ziem's biggest problem. He's just not willing to go. And I think if he goes, he can be good. But that's his issue right now. So give me Figlac, the debutant again. Might not bet it because just scary. Dustin Stolfoots +210 versus this fucking guy's name. I need Heidi Dean here. I need John Anik over my shoulder. I need my boy Christian's really good at him too. Okay, so here we go. And I purposely didn't try to practice because I know a lot of you guys like when I just shit the bed when I do this. So this is off the cuff. Abusian Magomedov. Obusian Magomedov. I'm going to call Magomedov against Dustin Stolfoots here. UFC newcomer again. Russian representing Germany. A lot of these interesting Russian cats representing different countries. Dustin Stoval's been in the UFC for a little bit, coming off a good win over Dwight Grant. Big, strong grappler, but that's about it. And so is Magomedov. Magomedov wants to take your neck, your arm, your whatever. He hasn't been fighting for a while. Try to figure out why. He's been off for a few years, fought in the PFL, not the most active lately, and I couldn't really find much if he was injured, if he was this, he was that, but there could be some ring rust. So there's obviously an issue, but matchup to matchup, I think he matched up well with Stolfoots. I think Stolfoots has proven he can hang on the ground with a lot of these elite guys in the UFC, but I think he runs short with the striking, the overall game. In my opinion, I think Magomedov, what I've seen on tape, when I've seen him do, he's just a bull in there. I don't think he's the most polished fighter in the world. I wouldn't play him at 250. I wouldn't parlay him, but I would pick him, and I'm good at pick him. But Dustin Stolfoots, again, you just can never count out that dog. He's tough. He's got a good chin. His cardio is held up in his last fight, and cardio could be an issue for Magomedov here because he just hasn't fought in a while. But give me Stolfoots, or excuse me, give me Magomedov. I don't love it. I hate it. I hate this pick, actually. This is such a square pick by me. Like, I'm sure there's cappers out there, way better than me that are really in the weeds on Stolfoots, and they're like, dude, this guy matches up well at +210. I don't see it. Maybe it's a confidence thing, maybe it's whatever, but I'm going to go with Magomedov here. Again, I do like what I see on tape, and I think he is pretty good. He's fought a lot of good competition. He just doesn't fight enough. And does that matter? Does it not matter? We'll find out, but hasn't fought in a while, and UFC debut. That worries me. That's not going to be a bet. A fight I am betting, though, and a fight I'm excited about. Woo, 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 woo. Boys. Charles Jourdain, -135 versus Nathaniel Wood. Nate Wood. I don't think he likes being called Nate, but +115. Listen, love this fight. Fight came together kind of last minute, which makes sense. Both young guys. Nate Wood doesn't cut that weight to 35 anymore. Charles Jourdain's not the biggest 45 in the world. He's young. He's probably always training. He's ready to go. After his last fight against Burgos, this kid's just got that dog in him. What an absolute stud, and he's coming in here against Nate Wood. This is a really good fight. Both these guys are very, very similar. They like to strike. They're good on the ground. Undeceiving submissions. Nate has some great chokes, and Jourdain does as well. I think they're both black belts. I know Jourdain is. And this is just a really fucking fun fight. And I love the line placement. I love that it's a little low because you can make money on both sides. A lot of people are split on this. I get it. My issue is I think Nathaniel Wood isn't the biggest guy in the world. I think he's thick. He's muscled up. 135 was a bitch for him, so he's at 45, which I like, which is healthy, which means he could take fights like this. Problem is, I just think he might be a little undersized. I think he has a speed advantage, and I think Jourdain has a technique and timing advantage. Jourdain's going to have to use his footwork and timing with his hands to really kind of get in there because Nate Wood's going to be blistering him with speed. That first round's going to be tough. Jourdain's going to have to really get some good reads because Nate is very quick. Good leg kicks as well. He chopped down Charles Rosa, but this isn't fucking Charles Rosa, boys, okay? This is Charles Jourdain, who has fought who's who, has got some good wins, got some ugly losses. I'm not going to hide the losses either, but I think he's 26, 27 years old. He's prime now. He's been in the wars. Time for some clean performances. And this might not be a super clean performance because I predict a fucking dog fight. A dog fight. And this is going to be slime ball candidate number 1. And I'm, again, quickly regretting my decision because when I broke this down yesterday, I was all over Charles Jourdain, right? And I was all over Saint Denis. And I picked Jourdain over Saint Denis. And now I'm like, man, this could be a dog fight. This could be a close, French decision. This is why it's important that I sit down and I talk this shit out. This is therapy for me. But as of right now, Jourdain is in the... Well, as of right now, if I get the slime balls locked, right, you can add whoever you want. The slime ball is just a base. It's a base for everyone. Jourdain's in. I think he's just better everywhere. I think he's going to have... I think size will play a factor. I'm necessarily not a big size guy in MMA. I think speed kills. But I do think Jourdain's going to go out there and he's going to look good. It's not going to be a punching bag like Charles Rosa, like Nate Wood, who got hit in the Charles Rosa fight as well. I think he's going to get hit by Jourdain. I think Jourdain's going to put some pressure on him. And if it's the Andre Ewell performance, even if it's the Shane Burgos performance, I think Jourdain wins this fight here. I don't know if he finishes him because Nate Wood is very, very good. And he has been knocked out before, but he's not soft. He's not a softie. He's a legit dude. So give me Jourdain, slime ball candidate number 1. And we move on. Has Nasrat Alvarez versus John Makdessi. Nasrat, what could have been, bro? I went through on my week off and was scrubbing not scrubbing, but I deleted a few things off my Instagram, my MMA Takes Instagram, which is, it's just childish, dumb stuff that I don't find funny anymore. And I had a video. I used to do a video series where I give out one pick for YouTube. I didn't want to go full YouTube, so I only gave one pick. Nasrat Alvarez was a minus 330 favorite. 330 favorite over Drew Dober, and I took him. And that's when he was coming off his big win, and that's when people thought he was the next fucking king. Since in that fight, he's looked pretty goddamn average, right? Very average. I know he had the hand thing against Bobby Green. He's coming off that injury or whatever, but minus 225 is a pass, boys. I'm looking at John Makdessi here at plus 195. This is a value boy play. I'm taking John Makdessi at the dog shot.
Okay, this is dog.
Makdessi has fights once a year. He's fought once a year for the past 5 years. And he gets in there and he gives usually a great fucking performance. A fun fight. Nasrat, good striker, good boxing, good chin, good movement, good cardio. But Makdessi's tricky, man. He's tricky. He goes in there and fucks you up. He fucked up my boy Ignacio Bahamondes, which I never saw coming. I loaded up on Bahamondes. Makdessi's got some sneaky, tricky fucking vet stuff in there. And I think he's going to pull some of that shit out here in Nasrat. I think it's going to be a decision win by John Makdessi. I like Makdessi at plus 195. I like him by decision as well. He doesn't finish a lot of people. And Nasrat does have a decent sized chin. Literally sized chin. His head's fucking enormous. I can't load up on Nasrat. Especially at this money. This is a value boy special because I've looked at him. I thought he was the next coming. Not really. Thought he was good. And I still think he's a good fighter, but is he the next guy up? No, I don't think he'll ever fight for a title. And I think John Makdessi's getting, I know the old guys don't win in MMA anymore. You always bet the young guys. My boy Yanni the Greek got stats full of shit of why the young guys should win. I believe there's a 9 or 10 years age difference between these guys. Don't scare me off. Don't fucking scare me. A little bit it does. But I still go on Makdessi here, plus 195. Woo, I like that number. Value boy special. Let's go. Alessio, was that his name? Right? Yeah. Alessio the Chiquio versus Roman Kopilov. All right. So these are two guys I'm on the opposite sides of. I like to think that I have a very good sense of talent, right? I saw Kopilov before his debut. I studied him. I was like, this guy's fucking good. Fought all these guys over in Europe, in Russia, whatever, and looked good, right? All his wins, 7 of his 8 wins are by finishes over guys who are pretty decent, right? Comes in the UFC, lays an egg against, Carl Robinson, who hasn't won a fight since. And then lays a complete egg against Durov, where he showed a lot of heart. He got just fucking dog walk, though. And then DeCicchio's a guy who I've never really thought was that good. He's had these really weird fights where he thinks he wins decisions and he doesn't. Does have a head kick knockout win over Joaquin Buckley, but he's coming off a fucking devastating head kick loss to Al-Raq Hassan. So how is that he recover from that? I don't know. Listen, I can't give up on Kopilov. I can't. I don't want to be wrong about what I saw. He's 0-2. He hasn't looked good. He goes 0-3. I have to admit defeat. He goes out there and beats Chiquio. I can still got some wiggle room. I go, you know what? He might be pretty good. But all intentions are, I'm completely biased. I'm picking Kopilov. I really think Chiquio should probably be the favorite here. So if you're on that side, I think you're getting a steal in Chiquio's number. Obviously, that head kick knockout was brutal. Things can happen, but Roman Kopilov just has not looked UFC quality. Has not looked that good. Don't tell me that because I put him as a Trojan horse when he first came to the UFC, and I'm dead wrong. But let's go Kopilov, I guess. All right, co-main event, a fight that I'm jonesing to talk about. Jonesing to talk about this. Bobby Knuckles, old Robert Whittaker versus Marvin. His nickname should be the Delusional Vittori. But I get the Italian stallion makes more sense. So Marvin Vettori, this guy, I got a bone pick with him because, listen, he acted like a professional and did what he had to do. This guy's a true fighter. He had to do what he did in Costa. Costa coming in way overweight. He just, fuck it. Yeah, I'll fight. Whatever. I just want to fight. Looked pretty good in that fight. Obviously won the decision. But, you know, the Izzy fight, where he was losing his corners, talent. Rafael Cordero, legend coach. You're losing. You got to do something. That's a perfect Cordero impression, by the way. Go look up Rafael Cordero. That's how he sounds. Marvin, do something. And he's like, what do you mean losing? Like, there's something in his brain that he can't compute that he's losing. And I think that's going to happen in this fight because I think Whittaker's just going to outpoint him. The guy's got a cement block head. It's not going anywhere, right? He's got fucking spaghetti brains. He ain't going nowhere. But Robert Whittaker is just going to tune him up. He's going to tune him up, and he's going to be faster, elusive, better kicks. Marvin Vettori's takedowns, he's starting to add takedowns more. That's kind of how he kind of wins these fights. He's just there, and he's like, oh, I got a couple takedowns. Yeah, give it to Vettori. He's not sniffing a takedown of Robert Whittaker. Not fucking sniffing one. Bobby Knuckles is the second best middleweight in the world behind Adesanya. That second fight was a lot closer than I originally remembered. I went and rewatched it. And he's an athlete. He's quick. He's fast. He's still young, too. He's been around forever. He's young. And I just think he's going to piece up Vettori here. I think it's going to look a lot like Jared Cannonier, where Whittaker's just too fast. Movement's too good. Vettori's like a bull in a china shop. He's just marching forward, trying to find something. Ain't going to happen with a high-level guy like Whittaker. Whittaker's going to fucking piece him up. If this was 5 rounds, I could see some kind of stoppage with a cut because Whittaker's going to fuck up Vettori's face. But Vettori, again, cement head. He doesn't really wear too much damage. He's working on his defense. He's trying to move his head more, but guy's got pillow in his hands, no power punches, just wants to get you to the ground and lay on top of you. He has 12 UFC fights. He's got 2 finishes, both by submission. He's only dropped 1 guy. That was Jack Hermanson. His striking's okay, but there's no threat there, in my opinion. I think Bobby Whittaker's going to fucking style him. This is Slimeball Cannon number 2. I think Whittaker's a style him, and it's my fucking mortal lock. Fucking mortal lock. That's fucking dope. That scare you? Are you listening to your headphones? You go, what the fuck was that? Was there a demon in the off? Yes. It's the Mortal Lock demon. He's here. And I like Bobby Knuckles at minus 230. I thought he's going to be close to 300. Vegas giving Vettori respect here because, again, he's just there. How does he win fights? He doesn't finish anybody. Why'd you give it to Marvin? He was there. But that's how he wins. He's just there. He doesn't get put away and he's still standing. He's there. But I like Robert Whittaker in this fight all day. Mortal Lock, sew it up. That's your 3 locks. Mortal Lock, Robbie Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, Dog Lock, Joaquin Buckley, and my second home was Benoit Saint-Denis. That's a nice little parlay piece too if you want to run that parlay, the lock parlay. All right, main event. Ciryl Gane versus Tai Tuivasa. Gane getting the fucking hometown French treatment. I love it. Good for him. He's deserved it. He's come over the kickboxing into MMA and he's looked fucking great. He has submissions on his record. He's well-rounded. His striking's fantastic. Then you got Tai, who, I'll be honest, I didn't get Tai. I didn't get him for a while. I didn't love his personality. When I saw some stuff out like a blog or whatever, I didn't really find him funny. The shoey things I think are kind of gross. I don't want someone spitting. I'll drink a beer out of the shoe, but don't spit in it, right? I've long stand on that, but God damn it, I've turned that corner. I've turned the corner on Tai because my issue was he lost 3 in a row. And I thought he was coasting on the fact that he's a sellable, markable guy. the shoey guy, the whatever. He's got a great look. You know, he comes from Australia. He's got a whole camp full of killers. But he lost 3 in a row, and 2 of those were by submission and finish where he did not look good. And since then, he's rattled off, was it 4 or 5 in a row? All finishes? I think it's 5. Check that, Brian. In fact, 5 fights in a row, all finishes. Stefan Struve knocked him out in the first round. Harry Hunsucker, my boy Harry. Harry got done out in under a minute. Greg Hardy, first round knockout, a little over a minute. Augusto Sakai, second round. That was a good methodical performance. And then Derek Lewis took big old shots in that fight, came back, knocked him out with an elbow in round 2. So I've turned the corner on Ty. I think he is getting better. His camp is now focused around him. You can tell the improvements. He's finally letting go. He's trusting his athleticism. He's trusting his hands, trusting his coaches. But there's still some holes I see. I think Gone is going to be hard to hit. He's going to be at distance the entire time. In and out. That's a tough stuff to deal with. His style is tough. His style is so tough that Francis Ngannou became a wrestler, right? He wrestled Gone because Gone is hard to hit, hard to get a beat on, and he's quick and he's in. He moves like a welterweight. Tai Tuivasa is very fast and very powerful. He could easily catch Gone coming in, but I think Gone's going to be a little smart for that. Touch the body up, go upstairs to the head. We've got 5 rounds here to work. Gone likes 5 rounds. It's been 5 rounds many times. Tai Tuivasa has not been 5 rounds. And I just think that the cardio is gonna play. It
ain't got no gas in it.
I don't think Ty's gonna have no gas. You ain't gonna have no gas in it is what I'm predicting here. I see a late round finish. I see a 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round finish from Gone. I think the first 2 rounds are going to be methodical. I think Ty's going to come out shooting big shots and then get frustrated and then eventually maybe even get taken down because Gone does have good submissions. Big, strong fucking guy. But there is that always possibility where you're fighting in front of your home crowd, home country, and you go, I'm main event. People are here to see me. I need to put on a show. I really hope that's not the case. Gone is 540. He's very high. I understand, I think, because it's a matchup that favors him. I can't get a Tai Tuivasa fight right. I pick against him all the time. So again, with your boy being ice cold, plus 420 is a fucking gorgeous number if you want to go the other way. I just happen to think that Gone is a superior fighter. I'm taking Gone. I'm not looking back. And that's my fucking pick. All right, we got to wrap up. I got to get a suit. All right, slime ball parlay. Here we go. On the screen, gorgeous. Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker, Cyril Gane, Charles Jourdain, plus 196. I checked before we got on. If you add Benoit Saint Denis, you're looking at plus 300. Plus money tickets, any chance or any way you get. That's what the MMA Takes podcast brings to you. Plus money tickets. Woo! All right, slime ball parlay. I'll share this on social media. Get one more look. Pause the video. Get one more look. Plus 196. There it is. Gone. All right, listen. Follow me on MMA Takes podcast on Twitter. Excuse me. MMA Takes podcast on Instagram. Brian Petrie MMA on Twitter. Subscribe. We're at 823 subscribers. Let's get to 1,000. That's it. Wednesday Takes this week. Going to be a fun show. A lot to talk about. Was off last week. We're going to clear the decks. We're going to clear the air. We're going to fucking get after it. Yeah, let's go. Anik and Florian podcast. By the way, if you're wondering, like, hey, why am I seeing this guy with the Anik and Florian? Rescheduled to Wednesday. So we're doing it Wednesday. So you're going to be seeing a lot of me this week. So I apologize. But that's it. That's the show. Let's fucking go. Let's go.